Hello student, how are you? I'm Arun sir. Welcome to my channel Tuition Expert. Today in this class I will teach you pseudo force. Student, if you watch my video regularly and follow my class attentively, then I can assure you that you must success the IIT exam and Neet exam confidently with a good rank. Now let's start about the class. Pseudo force. What is pseudo force? The basic definition of the pseudo force is that when a body moves with an acceleration, then then a force, non-realized force, act in the opposite direction. That is, if a body moves with an acceleration a, then the pseudo force acts in the opposite direction of the motion of the body, and this force is ma. So this is an external force. The body moves with an external force, F external, and a pseudo force acts in the opposite direction of the motion. So pseudo force, actually what is called to pseudo force? Pseudo because it is non-realized force. Realized force from an external, from an inertial frame of reference. That is, inertial frame of reference means the reference frame which is non-accelerating. Non-accelerating frame is inertial frame. So when we observe a body from an inertial frame of reference, then we cannot realize the pseudo force. That is, pseudo force really exists, but we cannot realize that. So that's why it is called pseudo force. In some books, pseudo force is written imaginary force, but it is not imaginary. It is actually exists, but we cannot realize from an internal frame of reference. That's why it is called pseudo force. Because what is, how can we understand? How can we realize that pseudo force exists? Suppose a car, a car moves with an acceleration, and a body and a light body suspended from the roof of the car by string. When the car accelerates, then this light body which is suspended from the roof by string moves backward in this direction. So we explain that a force acts on the body in this direction, that's why it leans backwards. So this is called pseudo force. Now pseudo force comes from due to inertia of rest. Suppose motion of lift. Now when lift moves with an acceleration, now what is the reaction on the floor of the lift? Weight of the man is mg, act downward. Now if the lift moves upward with an acceleration a, then the pseudo force act in the opposite direction. This is pseudo force. So reaction on the floor of the lift by the man is denoted by r equal to ma plus mg, which is equal to m of a plus g. So r equal to ma plus mg. Now when if a man observe, another man observe this man, then he observe this man to be at rest. How can he explain the motion of the man be rest? He explained that some force act in this direction. So total force will be ma plus mg and normal reaction be r. So this reaction force balance this force. So motion of the man is rest. Motion of the man is rest. So r equal to ma plus mg. Now if a man from the ground observe this man and explain the motion of the man, then how can he explain that? How can he explain? He explained that a some reaction force acts in this direction and the whole system moves upward, so the motion of the body will be r minus mg equal to ma. That's so if a man from the ground, if a man from the ground observe this man, then he explained that cannot realize the pseudo force. He explained that reaction force acts in this direction, weight of the body in this direction, the acceleration of the lift is a upward, so here motion of the body is r minus mg equal to ma. If a man in the lift observe this man, then he see that the man is at rest. Now he explained the motion is that some force act in this direction, that is opposite to the motion of the lift, opposite to the motion of the lift. And now so ma plus mg balance the reaction force, so that's why r equal to ma plus g. So if from both explanation we get the result r equal to m of a plus g, that is lift moves downward with an acceleration a. What is the reaction force? Here weight is mg and pseudo force act in the opposite direction ma, so reaction always upwards. Now if we in the light of the pseudo force, r plus ma equal to mg, so r equal to mg minus ma. So here reaction is this. Now here reaction is this, that is now r is positive when g greater than a, that is when the lift accelerate with less than g, then r will be positive. Now suppose lift accelerate with greater than g, suppose lift accelerate with greater than g. Now what happens? If a greater than g, then r is negative touch. Now if a greater than g, then r is negative. Now when r is negative, what happens? In this case, when r is negative, in this case the lift accelerates more rapidly than the acceleration of the man. So after some time the head of the man touches the roof of the lift, and what is the equation of motion? Here if the reaction is r, mg is this, and the lift accelerates with acceleration a, so equation is r plus mg, r act in this direction, r plus mg equal to ma, so r equal to m of a minus g. This is the reaction force on the head of the man by the roof of the lift. Now if the lift is moved, if the lift moves with upward or downward with a constant velocity, that is uniform velocity, then what happens? With uniform velocity, then uniform velocity means acceleration is 0. If the reaction force r and weight is mg, then r minus mg equal to m into a is 0, so r equal to mg. So when the lift moves upward or downward with uniform velocity, then acceleration is 0, so r equal to mg. Now if lift moves upward or downward with constant velocity, what happens? Constant velocity means acceleration is 0, so no pseudo force acts on the man. So here weight of the man act downward and reaction force is r, so r equal to mg. So when a lift moves upward or downward with an acceleration within constant velocity, then reaction force is equal to m. What is pseudo force? Comes due to inertia of rest. Due to inertia of rest, pseudo force produced. Example: suppose a car moves with an acceleration a. Now a light body suspended from the roof of the car by a string. When the car accelerates, then this light body leans opposite direction and it makes an angle theta. So this is called by this is produced by the pseudo force. Now what happens when when the motion start, then the attached this point attached to the roof moves with the car, then the point attached with the car moves with the car immediately, but the this light body remains try to remain its original position, so it moves backward. So this is due to inertia of the suppose a block of mass m moves with an acceleration a by an external force this. Now the different particle, rigid particle block is made by the different particle which are rigid, that is attached. The particle cannot move from each other because it is rigidly attached. So the whole mass of the block bound to move in this direction because external force act in this direction. Now what force act on the body on the particle of now what is the actual force act on the every particle? That force is called pseudo force. So if every particle pseudo force act on every particle, if the mass of this particle suppose m, then the pseudo force act in the opposite direction ma. Now we cannot realize that the force actually exists. The force acting on the each particle is in this direction. We observe from outside. We observe from outside. The whole system moves with an acceleration a. So every particle, so a force acting on every particle is along in this direction. But actually, so we cannot realize the pseudo force from the inertial frame of reference. So that is from the ground, from the inertial frame of reference. That is from the ground. We cannot realize. If a man stand here and he observe this particle, then he see that or he observe that particle is at rest. So he explain that some force act in this direction, that's why the particle is at rest. So he can explain that a pseudo force act in this direction. That is pseudo force can be explained from the non-inertial frame of reference. Pseudo force cannot realized from the inertial frame of reference. This is inertial frame, this is non-inertial frame. So from inertial frame of reference pseudo force cannot be realized or explained, and from non-inertial frame of reference pseudo force can be explained. The problem is that if a car moves with an acceleration a and suppose this light body of mass m is suspended from the roof of the car, when the car accelerates with acceleration a, then this strings makes an angle theta with vertical and it moves in this direction. So here the different force acting on the body is that ma act in this direction, tension of the string in this direction, T. So this force, this is T cos theta and this is T sin theta. So what is mg? So T cos theta balance the weight and T sin theta equal to ma. So tan theta 2 divided by 1 we get tan theta equal to a by g, that is a equal to g tan theta. So answer is a equal to g tan theta. Different options are given: a equal to g tan theta, a equal to g cot theta, a equal to g sin theta, a equal to g cos theta. So option is a equal to g tan theta.